These are 12 weird country songs from the 1970s kids still remember, whether they want to or not. Some of them were funny, some were strange, and a few were so weird they became unforgettable. Number 12, The Streak by Ray Stevens.
Oh, yes, they call him the Streak.
Few songs captured the goofy spirit of the 1970s, quite like The Streak by Ray Stevens, a novelty smash that rocketed up the charts in 1974. Released on Barnaby Records, the song hit #1 on the Billboard Hot Country Singles chart and even crossed over to dominate the pop charts as well. The inspiration came from the bizarre nationwide streaking craze sweeping college campuses and sporting events at the time. Stevens leaned fully into the absurdity, recording the song as a mock news broadcast describing a mysterious streaker running naked through grocery stores and basketball games. Listeners couldn't get enough of the over-the-top humor. Radios blasted the track from kitchen counters and pickup dashboards, while kids giggled at lines that seemed almost too outrageous for country music.
Hey, Tom, I was just going down there to get Ethel a snow cone. Here he come, right out of the cheap seat.
Though many critics dismissed it as pure novelty, the song became one of Stevens' biggest hits and remains a perfect snapshot of a moment when the entire country briefly lost its mind and its clothes. Number 11, Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life by Bob. At number 11 sits one of the strangest titles ever printed on a country record sleeve, Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life by Bobby Bare. Released in 1976 on RCA Records, the song climbed all the way to number 2 on the country charts, proving that audiences had an appetite for faith mixed with football metaphor. Written by songwriter Paul Kraft, the tune imagines life as a gridiron battle where divine guidance might just punt you toward heaven. The quirky concept almost didn't make it to radio. Some stations worried the title might be disrespectful, while others simply couldn't believe it was a serious song.
I'm contented to be until.
But fans embraced it with open arms. In small-town bars and roadside diners, jukeboxes rattled with laughter as the chorus echoed across the room. Today, the track stands as a reminder that country music has always had room for humor, even when that humor involves celestial football plays. Number 10, The Battle of New Orleans, 1970s revival by Johnny Horton.
In 1814, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty.
While originally recorded in the late 1950s, Johnny Horton's The Battle of New Orleans found new life throughout the 1970s thanks to radio revivals and reissues that introduced the oddball history lesson to a new generation. The song had already been a massive hit, topping the country charts and winning a Grammy years earlier.
Old Hickory said we could take them by surprise if we didn't fire muskets till we looked them in the...
But in the 70s, its quirky storytelling and cartoonish imagery felt right at home alongside the decade's novelty hits. The tune recounts the War of 1812 battle with playful humor, cannons firing wildly, soldiers running through the swamps, and British troops fleeing in confusion. Kids growing up in the 70s often heard the song blasting from AM radios during long family road trips.
We fired our cannon till the barrel melted down, so we grabbed an
What made it so memorable wasn't just the history lesson, it was the sheer silliness of it all. Horton turned a battlefield into something that sounded more like a barnyard comedy sketch. Number 9, The Mississippi Squirrel Revival by Ray Stevens.
Well, when I was a kid, I'd take a trip every summer down to Mississippi.
If Ray Stevens had a specialty, it was musical chaos, and The Mississippi Squirrel Revival delivered it in spectacular fashion. Released in 1974, the song tells the absurd story of a squirrel that escapes inside a small-town church during Sunday service.
The day the squirrel went berserk. church.
What follows is complete pandemonium as the animal darts through pews, climbs clothing, and causes the congregation to erupt into screaming revival energy. The track didn't top the charts like some of Stevens' other hits, but it became a cult favorite thanks to its outrageous storytelling. Listeners could picture every moment: hymn books flying, hats falling, and the pastor desperately trying to maintain order.
It was a fight for survival that broke out in revival.
For many 70s kids, hearing it on the radio, the song felt like a cartoon set to music, and decades later, it still proves that sometimes the weirdest country songs are the ones people remember the longest. Number 8. May the Bird of Paradise Fly Up Your Nose by Little Jimmy Dickens' country legend. Little Jimmy Dickens had already been entertaining audiences for decades when this oddball anthem became one of his most talked about songs. Though originally released earlier, the tune remained a staple on country radio well into the 1970s thanks to its hilariously bizarre curse, wishing someone a bird flying straight up their nose. The song climbed to number 1 on the country charts, making it one of Dickens' biggest hits. What made it unforgettable was its playful revenge theme. Instead of anger or heartbreak, the singer dishes out ridiculous insults and comedic bad wishes. Imagine hearing it echo through a smoky barroom jukebox while patrons laughed between sips of beer. It was silly, it was strange, and it proved that country music didn't always have to be serious to become legendary. Number 7. Teddy Bear by Red Savine.
But I guess it's mine and Mom's now, 'cause my daddy's dead.
Some songs were weird not because they were funny, but because they were unlike anything else on country radio. Teddy Bear by Red Savine was exactly that. Released in 1976 on Starday Records, the song shot to number 1 on the country charts and became one of the most famous talking songs ever recorded.
Dad was going to take Mom and me with him later on this year.
Instead of traditional singing, Savine narrates the story of a lonely, disabled boy who communicates with truck drivers over a CB radio. The boy asks if he can ride in a truck just once, and the truckers across the country respond with kindness. For kids in the 70s who were already fascinated with CB radios and trucker culture, the song felt hauntingly emotional.
And then I carried him back in and put him down in his chair.
It was strange, deeply sentimental, and unforgettable. Few records captured the era's fascination with truckers quite like this one. Number 6. Uneasy Rider by Charlie Daniels.
Just as I crossed the Mississippi line, I heard that highway start.
Before Charlie Daniels became known for fiddling showdowns with the devil, he delivered one of the decade's strangest talking songs, Uneasy Rider. Released in 1973, the track climbed into the top 10 on the country charts while also finding success on rock radio.
Just when I thought I'd get out of there with my skin, these 5 big dudes come strolling.
The story follows a long-haired hippie motorcyclist who accidentally stops at a rough biker bar in Jackson, Mississippi. What unfolds is a tense and hilarious standoff between cultures. Daniels narrates every detail with a sly grin, building suspense as the crowd grows suspicious of the outsider. Listeners leaned in close to catch every twist in the story, and just when it seems things might explode into violence, the narrator slips away in the most ridiculous way possible.
He's a snake in the grass, I tell you guys, he made...
If these classics are bringing back memories, hit that like button and subscribe. We post new country countdowns every week, keeping the golden years of music alive for fans like you. Number 5. Harper Valley PTA by Jeannie C. Riley.
I wanna tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife.
At number 5 comes a song that shocked small-town America while making millions cheer. Harper Valley PTA by Jeannie C. Riley told the story of a widowed mother confronting a group of judgmental community leaders. Released on Plantation Records,
And it was signed by the secretary, Harper Valley PTA.
the track soared to number 1 on both the country and pop charts, an incredible crossover achievement. What made it unusual wasn't just the story, it was the boldness. The singer publicly calls out hypocrisy, exposing the secret behavior of those who had criticized her parenting. For 1970s listeners, the song felt rebellious and scandalous in the best way.
And Mr. Baker, can you tell us why your secretary had...
It played on kitchen radios and car stereos while audiences cheered the heroine's courage. Its success proved that country songs could challenge authority and still become massive hits. Number 4. You Never Even Called Me By My Name by David Allan Coe.
Well, it was all I could do.
David Allan Coe leaned into parody with You Never Even Called Me By My Name, a song that jokingly claimed to be the perfect country and western song. Released in 1975 on Columbia Records, it became one of Coe's signature hits.
Don't have to call me darling.
The tune pokes fun at country music cliches, heartbreak, trains, trucks, prison, and getting drunk. The famous spoken ending reveals that the first version of the song wasn't perfect because it didn't include all the classic country themes. When the final chorus finally squeezes every stereotype into one verse, audiences couldn't help but laugh.
But before I get to the station in my pick.
Bars and dance halls across the country echoed with fans singing along. It was a clever reminder that sometimes country music knows exactly how ridiculous it can be and enjoys every second of it. Number 3. The Winner by Bobby Bare.
But everybody said, watch out, hey, that's time.
Story songs were common in the 70s, but The Winner by Bobby Bare turned tall tales into comedic gold. Released in 1976, the song became a hit thanks to its unforgettable barroom showdown.
But I left that person cursing, nursing.
The narrator meets a grizzled old man who brags about surviving dozens of fights. The younger challenger confidently accepts the challenge, only to discover the old man's definition of winning is very different. Each verse reveals another ridiculous injury the old fighter suffered during his so-called victories.
Just think about all you're gonna get by being a winner.
By the end, the young challenger realizes the legend isn't quite as impressive as it first seemed. Listeners loved the humor and storytelling. It sounded like something you might overhear late at night in a roadside tavern. Exaggerated, funny, and strangely believable. Number 2. A Boy Named Sue by Johnny Cash.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, didn't leave very much to my ma and me except this.
When Johnny Cash recorded A Boy Named Sue, he probably knew the song was unusual, but few expected it to become one of his most famous performances. The song debuted during Cash's legendary live recording at San Quentin Prison in 1969.
But I made me a vow to the moon and stars, search the honky-tonks and bars.
But it dominated country radio throughout the early 1970s. Written by poet Shel Silverstein, the story follows a young man searching for the father who gave him the humiliating name Sue. The crowd roared with laughter as the tale unfolded, leading to a climactic father-son showdown.
Come away with a different point of view, and I think about it.
It was funny, gritty, and surprisingly emotional. For many young listeners in the 70s, the song felt rebellious and unpredictable. Exactly the kind of strange storytelling that made country music so entertaining. Number 1. Old Dogs, Children, and Watermelon Wine by Tom T. Hall.
He said, you know, I turned 65 about...
Topping the list is one of the strangest and most heartfelt story songs of the decade. Old Dogs, Children, and Watermelon Wine by Tom T. Hall. Released in 1972 on Mercury Records, the song climbed to number 1 on the country charts and became Hall's signature hit.
Ever had a drink of watermelon wine?
The story unfolds in a quiet bar where an old man begins sharing his life philosophy with the narrator. According to him, the world's greatest things are simple: old dogs, children, and watermelon wine. The song's unusual title caught people's attention immediately, but its deeper meaning kept them listening.
And watermelon wine.
On late-night radios across America, the gentle melody and wise storytelling felt almost like advice from a grandfather. In the end, its strange simplicity made it unforgettable. If you've enjoyed this trip back in time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more country classics every week. And there you have it, 15 weird country songs from the 1970s that kids from that era still remember today. From streakers and runaway squirrels to trucker radio calls and barroom tall tales, the decade proved that country music could be just as funny and strange as it was heartfelt. These songs weren't just hits. They were stories that stuck in people's memories for decades. Thank you for taking this trip back into one of country music's most colorful eras. And don't miss our next video. Did you grow up in the 1970s? These country songs will make you homesick for the good times, where things get even stranger as a new generation of artists pushes the genre into unexpected territory. Until then, keep the music close.